Ladies and gentlemen, politics aside, the fact remains that Dr. Fred Okengo Matiangi is the person under pressure in this current political terrain. Under very serious pressure. Why? Because his name is so common in people's mouths, in people's writings, that he should vie for presidency, and maybe people need him as a president in this country. And then this gentleman sits back and asks himself, I am from a small community with just 2.5 million votes. There are other presidential candidates from other parts of the region, like Rigathi Gachagua, who have huge numbers. How am I going to convince them that I'm the person capable going to vie for the presidency? He also thinks of himself as being not able to finance himself. He needs Uhuru Kenyatta. And then people come and tell him that is the project of Uhuru Kenyatta. How is he going to start dealing with this? He comes to a country where he has a party called UPA. Checking from the other side, he's having Jubilee saying that it's their candidate. How is he going to reject Jubilee and go for UPA? Ladies and gentlemen, how is he going to sit down with Kalonzo, who is experienced, Rigathi Gachagua, who is a mobilizer, and people with huge numbers, convince them that is the best candidate for this country? On this platform here, I want to tell Matiang'i one very simple thing. Other leaders can be excused, but him, he should be on the ballot. Why? I'm going to show you on this video here today. But before I take you through, please, if this is the first time you're watching my videos, kindly take a second or two to subscribe. Then for those who want my number for support and to be able to engage me directly, it's always here on the screen. Kindly take a second or two, share with me. Also, let me give you 2 seconds subscribe before I proceed. Thank you so much for subscribing. Others can be excused. That is Kalonzo Musyoka. Why? Because he has also failed to vie before and actually decided to support someone else. Also, Kalonzo's name is not well talked of as far as the problems that William Ruto is bringing out from his regime. In that people don't see Kalonzo as such the solution to some of these problems because of the history and the energy of Dr. Fred Okengo Matiangi. Also, Gachagua can be excused because he was impeached. He can even have an excuse that I could not run because I was impeached. Martha Karua can be excused because he tried and failed before with Raila Amolo Odinga when he was the deputy president. I mean, the running mate. But Matiangi is a new force without any reason as to why he should miss on the ballot. Money cannot be the issue. Numbers cannot be the issue. The issue is him as an individual, as a personnel, as an individual. Matiangi is a new force emerging from Kenyans themselves. People talking about Matiangi. I was one time in a vehicle heading to Nairobi, and a lady just came in and started talking about where did Matiangi go. That is by the time he was not talking, but things were not good in the country. So therefore, the name of Matiangi emerged from the people. And if he lets that chance go, he will not get the same chance again. In Nyamira, we had a certain politician, his name was Muchama. This gentleman, people talked of him across. People felt like he was going to be the candidate in 2017. But this gentleman, he literally disappeared. And since that time, people don't want him again. So that is the same case that will happen to Matiangi if he does not vie for president. If he does not vie for president. If he does not, what will be the reason for him? I don't think he has a reason. He has to be on the ballot. So it's upon him to work hard and convince his fellow coalition members that he's the best person to go for this seat. He will be finished completely because Kenyans will be disappointed over him. Why will Kenyans be disappointed over him? First, they identified him to be a very serious performer under Uhuru Kenyatta's regime. And they feel because William Ruto hasn't performed to be felt on the ground, they need him back. So he's coming to fix that aspect. Second of all, he's also younger than most of these leaders who are going to vie. Like, maybe, probably even the youngest amongst all those 5 or 6 principals. And therefore, we have to state here categorically that he has the energy people need. Also, he has a huge support, first from the middle class. People whose payslip has been seriously mutilated. People who feel like the employers of this country, who feel like this is terrible. In that he has about 4 million people already intact. Those are the people working, people with middle class. If you have, for instance, teachers, and then you have, maybe you have teachers, You have people working in private sector. Those people whose pay slips have been mutilated are thinking of Matiangi day and night. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the low class people who feel like William Ruto has been a disappointment, who feel like because of the money that's lacking among the middle class, therefore they're lacking money as well at the grassroots. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the youth, some of the youths of the country who feel like Matiangi can be a better candidate than all of those. Also, Matiangi support cuts across the country. People are talking about Matiangi from Kwale all the way to Malava, from Northeastern all the way to Narok. Ladies and gentlemen, Mount Kenya does not talk bad about Fred Matiangi. And we all know what Mount Kenya means. Mount Kenya, once it supports you, it does. And once it decides it's you, you will. If Mount Kenya people decide it is Matiangi, Gachagua will abide. So therefore, it is a deal for Dr. Fred Okengo Matiangi to sit down and prepare himself. What is he supposed to do? After resigning, he comes back, he portrays the character that we want to see in him. Organizing his campaign team properly. Having specific and target and strategic meetings. Like the one I saw in Masai, tick. The one I saw from Nyoro, tick. The homecoming journey, tick. Engage the youths of this country substantively. That will basically help him to brand himself. There are so many professionals in this country who feel like they need a professional on board, and Matiangi doctor represents that. There are so many questions of Yala River, things to do with Lwaraka land. Those are questions you should not shy off from answering. Let him face it and answer. Let him face the media and answer such questions. But however, he should not be too common to the public, the way Kalonzo has been. To an extent that Kalonzo can come to Giza and I might not notice that. The way it should not be too common. Also, it should not be too dormant, like Eugene Omalo. He should be well organized to bring a change within the opposition. Because that is what people can be able to tell that this person is better. I have to admit here, when he was speaking at Waminyoro, he gave a very nice speech that could show some leadership qualities in him than most of the leaders. While others are attacking each other, defending themselves, he admitted their problems. And he wants the country to change, but it needs all of us. Such a good statement that you're giving out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Matiangi to lose it. So it is him to sit down and organize himself to give Kenyans an okay that is ready. I don't know what's your take, but on the comment section, let me see what you think. In my next video, I'm going to do the possible running mate of Dr. Fred Matiangi that he must have as a running mate. See you next time for more videos.